Hamilton. 6. Wicked. All modern musicals that bask in the spotlight of Hollywood, casting deep, dark shadows that hide away even the highlights of productions like Be More Chill, Epic the Musical, and Come From Away. But even those cast shadows on musicals no one in the world has ever heard of. And beyond that shadow, in a different room entirely, is improv. And standing in the flickering light bulb of the barely used hallway that connects improv to musicals is Off Book, the improvised musical podcast, hosted by Jess McKenna and Zach Reno, with musical backing by Scott Passarella, Brett Morris, and Dana Wickens. Having been retired at episode 300, the actual podcast has quite a backlog of very silly improvised musicals with very silly guests, such as Emo Nights, featuring Philip Labus. A Christmas Duet, featuring Paul F. Tompkins and Nicole Parker. Wanda's Dad, featuring Lily Sullivan. And most importantly, Cowminal House, Animal House, where the animal is a cow, featuring Brendan Dowling. Cowminal House, as it's usually called, is a coming-of-age musical about 3 college nerds in the fraternity Kappa Alpha Omega, or KAO. Cow. You understand. The central themes of the musical revolve around invention versus discovery, which is immediately discussed in the first song of the musical, Already There, where our main character Brent, played by Zach Reno, debates with his supporting cast Toby and Stefan, played by Jess McKenna and Brendan Dowling respectively, about whether they invented calculus or discovered it. Toby and Stefan arguing calculus already existed and needed to be discovered, and Brent arguing that with that logic, most things that are invented are actually discovered natural features we remake, such as the bridge being in reference to a natural bridge created by erosion. The idea that those who invent are foolish is prevalent throughout the entire musical. Suddenly, the dean of the college, Dean Curtis, played by Jess McKenna, shows up and tells off Cow, telling them he hates how they debate mathematics in a way that makes him feel stupid. Dean Curtis, as a character, is the epitome of a fool who believes he invents but actually only rediscovers failure. He wears 2 different kinds of socks, has 2 different pant leg lengths, wears 1 croc, a sun hat over a baseball cap with sunglasses on the back of his head, and rides a hoverboard everywhere. Additionally, Dean Curtis attempts to begin songs about himself, only for the band to ignore his pleas for musical accompaniment.
The dean of this school, breathing in what is cool.
The only cool thing about Dean Curtis is his tattoo sleeve, which is
a Fibonacci sequence, okay?
Okay.
Wow.
And it leads into some vines, and it goes up. This is the crest of my maternal grandfather's
Right,
family.
Dean Curtis informs the cows that he's kicking them off of campus.
Unless,
Unless what?
Unless what?
unless you can defeat our rivals in the math competition.
The cows attend Clydell University, and Clydell's mathematical rival is St. Benedict's, who believe they invented math, and Dean Curtis explains.
They were founded by a descendant of Euclid, so they did invent math, and that's why they're so good at it.
Brent questions Dean Curtis's motives, and Dean Curtis is very open about how he believes the cows aren't having enough fun, which Dean Curtis prizes above all else. When Dean Curtis leaves, the cows fret about their potential expulsion from Clydell campus, wondering who will host their well-known farm-to-table dinner party, the Five Stomachs of Fun party, in their absence. They then discuss Dean Curtis's idea of fun, and in the song Doin' It Right, express their desire to, indeed, experience the kind of more traditional college life Dean Curtis praises, altering their Five Stomachs of Fun party to introduce the college to this new change in their fraternity. In a new scene, we meet Crystal, Penelope, and Bethany, played by Brendan Dowling, Jess McKenna, and Zach Reno, respectively, who are all members of a sorority called Delta 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 Delta, referred to frequently as Quad Delt.
We didn't feel that much sisterhood with our branches, and we were like, we actually need to be a new sorority, and so we're actually Quad Delt.
And their intent to invent a new sorority by applying a fourth delta is seen as innovative in the eyes of themselves and Dean Curtis, despite being obviously comedic to the audience. They have received an Evite from Cow, requesting RSVP so they know
How many bottles of alcohol to buy is what it says here.
and are impressed by the change in Cow's partying skills, though they do mention how the Evite is an outdated method of invitation. Crystal confesses to her contemporaries that she has been
I've nursed a crush on Brent for the past 3 semesters.
This confession is not taken well by her sorority sisters, who remind Crystal they only date
The hottest, most dangerous boys on campus.
We have to. It's on. We wrote it on the wall.
It's on our charter.
which inspires an argument about what quantifies hotness and danger, with Penelope reaching the conclusion that hotness is a personal preference, while Cow's danger is substantial, because Dean Curtis is constantly threatening to kick them off campus, leading directly into the song Dangerous, non-traditionally, in which the girls reveal Brent is allergic to bees and also sometimes mistakes bees for men. Yes, you heard that right.
I saw him down on his knees when he realized that he wasn't with men but with a bunch of real bees.
Before that song can even fully end, Dean Curtis arrives to ask the Quad Delts if they are going to Cow's party, saying he also received an Evite, but is fearful it would be uncool for him to go to said party. The Quad Delts question Dean Curtis about a stick and poke tattoo on his neck, which is of the word breathe.
Which I guess is fun because it's on your neck.
The scene cuts here to a scene that does not need to exist. 3 faculty members we never see again discuss their intent to attend the party and the idea of Evites. The song Evite is sung by these faculty members and does nothing for the plot. This is unfortunately the nature of improv, and honestly I'm yet to listen to an off-book podcast which does not have a song that introduces a character we never see again. Additionally, this is where intermission happens, and Jess struggles to name the musical.
Animal House, where the animal's a cow. Cowminal House. The musical.
Cowminal House.
Rarely is there a $10
Cowminal House. Animal House.
where the animal is a cow.
Intermission ends, and we come back to find prep for the Five Stomachs of Fun party underway. Crystal arrives early and speaks with Brent and Toby, Crystal mistakenly calling Brent Curtis, which prompts Toby to question if Dean Curtis would be coming to their party. Crystal informs them Dean Curtis has a skin infection from his new neck tattoo, which has apparently expanded to include
The first book of the Aeneid.
Later, Dean Curtis will refute this claim, saying his neck tattoo is actually
Breathe, and then the opening of the Aeneid.
It's unclear if he means just Arma Verumque Cano, or the full 11-line opening, neither of which are good options for a stick and poke tattoo on your neck, as stick and poke is not the recommended method for tattooing words, and is also not a good idea to be done on your neck. Toby exits this scene as he feels romantic tension build between Crystal and Brent, who sing the duet Date Things, where they express their ignorance when it comes to dating, deciding to ask each other personal questions to learn more about each other. Also during this song, we learn about the insane family trees of these two characters, and I just have to play this whole part for you.
My number of siblings is easy to do. I'm the oldest of 3, so for siblings there's 2. Number of parents is also 3. 2 dads and a mom, just a family.
I have 7 parents, 2 stepmoms and 3 stepdads, and my biological parents. There've been a lot of divorce, but everyone's on good terms, so the people are still in my life.
Great, siblings?
I have 11 siblings, only 3 are in touch with them. The other 8, I've lost touch of them.
Additionally, Brent asks who Crystal's favorite mother is, and she reveals it's Anne B. Keep this in your back pocket for later. Dean Curtis waits for the song to be over to announce his entrance, with a sing-song edition in a similar style, without any backing instruments. He informs Brent and Crystal that St. Benedict's has been accepted into an international math competition in Tokyo, meaning the math competition has to happen alongside the Five Stomachs of Fun party, and additionally means the attendance of the Dean of St. Benedict's, Pamela Bowweather.
Pamela Bowweather, your ex-wife.
Yes, my
Did she
ex-wife.
text you?
After Dean Curtis leaves, Brent calls a house meeting, and in the song Drinking Rules, Toby suggests creating drinking rules for the math competition, and the Quad-Delts arrive to teach the cows how to drink without getting drunk, which they believe will cause the St. Benedict boys to get very drunk and fail the math competition. The St. Benedict boys, played by Brendan Dowling, Jess McKenna, and Zach Reno, arrive, along with a short introduction song for their dean, Pamela Bowweather, played by Brendan Dowling, called Traveling Dean. In this scene, Pamela reveals Dean Curtis's first name is Harold. His name is Harold Curtis. Brent promises Dean Curtis will get a song before the night is out, and sends him off to the nurse to deal with his skin infection. Finally, the Five Stomachs of Fun party begins, along with the math competition, which is also a drinking game, happening entirely during the song Eat, Drink, Do Math, in which the St. Benedict boys get so drunk they pass out, since their alcohol of choice is Scotch neat with a drop of water.
Open it!
While drunk, one of the St. Benedict boys expresses his favorite stepmother is Anne B., drawing familial connection between himself and Crystal. Remember that? Pamela is not disappointed in her math team, but instead disappointed in herself, feeling her relaxed approach to the rules was the real reason for their failure. Dean Curtis reveals,
I think you know that I still burn for you.
and Pamela reveals that she also feels the same for him. After Brent requests a hug from Crystal, he finally requests for Dean Curtis to sing his song, and Dean Curtis begins the song Already There, reprise, where Dean Curtis expresses that he has learned that being cool is not something that needs to be forced, and can come in many different forms. And Brent tells Crystal that his feelings for her feel new, but he knows that he actually always felt that way for her. In the final line of the song, Brent reestablishes the themes of discovery over invention, saying,
We all just found what was already there.
The musical comes to a close with Brent putting on music with a
Craziest freaking time signature you've ever heard.
which is terrible, but the members of the cast express their joy in hearing it. Throughout the entirety of Cowminal House, we are shown characters who attempt to invent and those who strive to discover. In Drinking Rules, Toby and Stefan attempt to invent new drinking games, but in Eat, Drink, Do Math, it is Brent's rule of
Every time someone does math, you take a drink.
which is actually used, disregarding the invention entirely. The Quad-Delts attempt to invent a new sorority by applying a fourth delta to their house, and the only ones in the musical to ever refer to the three girls as the Quad-Delts are themselves and Dean Curtis. Dean Curtis is constantly trying to invent, but only ever finds failure until he, instead of trying to invent love, discovers his reignited love for Pamela. Even St. Benedict's math team, who are touted as extremely smart and a major threat to the cows, are punished for their ties to invention, their claims of being descendants of Euclid turning into them drinking until they pass out and losing the competition to the cows. Meanwhile, Brent never attempts to invent. Brent finds those who have prior information and discovers that information, asking the quadrilts for assistance in learning how to drink, using Toby's idea to add drinking rules to the math competition, which Toby himself only discovered through consuming media. And even in date things, his idea to ask each other questions is not attributed to himself, instead saying,
It feels like the thing that you would do on a date.
Cowminal House is a coming-of-age story. Our protagonist and our antagonist both end up changed by the end, but they are not changed in a way that redefines them, only changed in a way that was always there for them, but they did not have the means to achieve. They did not reinvent themselves, they rediscovered themselves. Cowminal House is a story that tells us we do not have to start over to better ourselves. The means to better yourself are all around you. You don't have to invent those means. You only have to discover them. Thank you so much for listening. There wasn't much on the screen to actually watch, unless you wanted to see me play Terraria or see some clips from offbookclubhouse.com, which is still up, and you can go support Zach and Jess in keeping those videos up, as well as Offbook's podcast backlog is still on Spotify if you'd like to go watch that as well. I really enjoy them. Cowminal House is my favorite, obviously. This is the first video that I've actually seriously edited in quite a few years, but I don't imagine I'm going to be putting out videos particularly frequently, and probably not videos of this style either. I kind of have this channel up just for myself. Like, there's a million unlisted Fortnite videos on here, so yeah. But thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed learning about the best musical that you've never heard of, and now you have heard of it, and you should definitely go watch Cowminal House on Spotify, please.